video, I'm going to tell you more about a new DNN extension. It's called DNN tokens, and it's available from the repository of EasyDNN solutions on GitHub. And Chaps has created this together with EasyDNN solution, who has been a long time vendor within the ecosystem. So let's just dive in and see what it's all about. So first of all, let's start with why we do want tokens. Well, it's all about integrity in content management. So if there is one word or phrase or value that is being used in one or more portals in your DNN instance, then you want to make sure that when the value or the words are changing or the definition is changing, you want it to be changed everywhere. And this is where DNN tokens comes in. So what we're going to show you is a generic concept, like if there's tax rate, for instance, so the tax rate will be changing from 20% to 21% or something like that. We'll show you how to use tokens in a styled content way, like cards, for instance, to use the eraser in SQL, or if you want to have nested tokens, you want to have everything organized neatly. And of course, there's a whole bunch of context there where you want to use your tokens in. So it's not just in the HTML module, but in whole other scenarios as well, because other vendors or other people within the ecosystem are using tokens as well. So it's not just commercial vendors like DNN Go or EasyDNN, but also the open source modules from 2SIG, and there's a whole bunch more. So let's get to it. I have a local install here. I just put a DNN Go theme on this install because I know I want to demo this later on. I created the page, the DNN tokens. The extension has already been installed. So let's dive in and see what we have here. So it starts with the ability to add a token. We'll be doing that later on, but for now, let's see what's already here. And we start with the simple one. And the simple one is just a plain text token. And if we look at edits, you can see I gave it a name. There is a description. This is the actual value. And I created the category just to show you that it can be done. And there are currently 3 types of tokens, and this is of course just a plain text. And here is the context. You can use it in this case in the portal. If you want to have broader scope for the host, you can use the multiple websites as well. So if we test it, you can see that it will be replacing the token with this certain value. Now, if we go back to the token list, you can see here that this is the actual token. So I'll just copy it and I go back to the local host, and I created another simple page. That's how it's called. And there's an HTML module here. And let's just put it here. This is the token, and you can see that's already being replaced. So for those who are already familiar with tokens, you might notice that I did not change any settings here. So usually, if you want to use your DNN core tokens, you need to check this one. So replacing tokens is default option within DNN token when it's installed, because it wants to play nicely with other providers as well. This means that if we use a DNN core token, so this is not created within DNN tokens, but a regular token, then this should also work. And you can see that it does indeed without having the token replacement checked. So right now we already demonstrated the easiest form of DNN token, which is a text replacement, and the fact that it plays nicely with the DNN core tokens. Okay, let's get to the next level, which is in this case the same type of token, still text HTML token, but this time I put in a little bootstrap, so a little bit of styled content here. And let's see if we test it. You can see that the output is still HTML. And we go to the token, which is this one. Um, Now let's put it in here. And you can see that it's already uh, looking like a card. So if there would be a background color, then you would have seen more that it's a card, but still there's an image and there's some content here and a link. So it's more versatile than just 21% or a date. So you can do more fancy stuff here. Let's see what else we have. So here it says, hi there, user first name. Welcome to this great day. And then it creates a new token and it's called welcome. So what we have here is basically a nested token. So just copy the welcome here and see if we can. So just copy the concept. I don't think there was no namespace for this token. So the welcome token is a nested token and it will use another token, which is the first name, to display. And now it says, hi there, super user, welcome to this great day. So here it is, user first name and the rest of the content. Now let's get to something regarding a SQL. And you can see here that it does a select statement. And I created this one some time ago if I wanted to find out if there were any pages that could be optimized for SEO. So in this case, it says, well, I want all the pages where the title of the page has less than 10 characters. So that's not enough for successful SEO. So here's the SEO length token. I'm going back to this one and I'll replace the welcome message here. And let's remove the old tokens. And I'm curious to find out where it says now. Um, these are the tokens or the tab names that have 10 characters or less in the title. So for instance, it says now simple page or another simple page. And this would mean that the current page here, indeed, it has no title. So this one, it looks a little bit ugly, but still does the trick. So this is a list of all the pages that are probably empty. So that's for SQL. Let's see if some other select statement works as well. So we have here select the first name from users. So it will get the first name of the first record. And if I now go back to this one and replace this, then indeed it gives just super user. So that's for a SQL. So finally, let's dive into some Razor demo. So for Alex, I created a simple razor. So let's replace the current one, the current SQL statement with the razor statement, and it says now the current date and time warp is Thursday, May 1st, the year of 2025. So if we look at what it does indeed have some content, and here some simple razor. Putting the date time into string. And if we, for instance, take this one, razor demo, then it has for each statement. Let's see if that works as well. So It says test 3, 33, 33. So here it has the for each loop, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. A little variety here is the list of fruit, and it should work as well. And yes, it now says apples, bananas, and cherries, which is correct, as we here have a list of the apples, bananas, and cherries. So right now we have stated that the tokens actually work. Let's find out in what context they work. So let's find out if we can use our tokens in a DNN Go theme. I just added the content builder extension to the pane here. So what we're going to do here is say, well, this is just a prefab, and I can add an element, and one of those elements that you can use is a token. So here it says, please click the settings, which is this one. So we can now go ahead and do our token list, for instance, and say, well, I want, um, well, here the date time now. So let's copy this one. And here is the token. So we still have to save it. And then you can see it needs refreshing because at first it doesn't understand what it's doing. So after refreshing, it has been transposing the tokens to what it actually should be. So the current date and time warp. So we have now put it in a DNN Go theme. And for those who just noticed, I have here logged in as super user, which is one of the settings of the theme is that you can fiddle with the header layout. So I just put here a little bit of default text and a token. So I'm logged in as there's the token, and you can see that it is not just working here within the component in the token component, but also here in the header. So let's see what we else have, because I did something else. And for that, we need to find the source code for this one. So here's the page source. And what we're going to do is description, I think. Mm, yes, there it is. So there's the meta tag description, and it says, "Hi there, super user. Welcome to this great day." So where is this coming from? Well, it's coming from here. I put it here in the description. I could also have used the um, uh, text for that, or a title. So DNN tokens is also working here in the description. As I mentioned earlier, one of the aims was to play nicely with other modules that are using tokens as well. So what I did on this page, I put an EasyDNN News token here, and it says now there's a 2025 tax plan and some date, and the current tax is 21%, and we need our apples, bananas, and cherries. So just to check out how this was created, here is the date time token, because you can see the notation. You recognize DNN core tokens, so that works in this context. We have the list of fruit here. Here's the high tax. So it's all working very nicely together. And of course in the detail view as well. So we go here. Here you can see that it's all there. the razor, and more razor and some constant text. So yeah, it works with EasyDNN as well. Now let's check out how DNN tokens will work with two sexy content. So this is default app, and let's say hi there. And this is the first name. This is the SQL statement, and here is a list. Um, let's find the list of fruit here. So that's the razor list. And then just for to make it look nice, we have some food, save and close. And then you can see the DNN token is not being translated, but that is just because it needs refreshing the page. So here you can see that it very nicely translates the token, and here's the razor. But there's also a catch. After refreshing the page, you can see that um, the interface to edit this has gone. So that's the drawback that somehow needs some tweaking. So the only way to remove this is to go back to this one and delete. So that is the only way to get that going again. Um, so there's one more thing that I like to try with to sexy content, which is this just an accordion, and you can switch to the template mode, of course. And if I open that and add a token here, just say that and refresh the page. You can see that it translates the token as expected. So you can use DNN tokens into sexy content in the templating itself, and the interface here is still working. Let's try one more thing here within the app. So hi there, and this should translate to hi there, super user. Again, it's now is not rendering the token because it needs refreshing the page. It does translate the token in the template. It does translate the token in the edit mode of the app. But again, the interface of DNN itself is gone. So the same issue, but there are more opportunities to use DNN tokens into sexy content context. So that's kind of neat as well. So with all these examples, I hope you will move to GitHub, go to EasyDNN Solutions, to DNN Token Repository, and give it a spin. I mean, we would love to get your feedback and to see what's possible or not possible yet. So I hope to hear from you soon, and well, best of luck.